Hi, welcome to my technology module 3. I did a lesson plan on Morse code and it's specifically used in a fourth grade class. So during this lesson, students will gain an understanding of how Morse code enabled fast and efficient communication before voice transmission was possible. Students will integrate and exhibit learning by programming a functioning Morse code transmission system to send messages. So going into my next slide, why learn Morse code. Here, I just realized I inserted the wrong video. So what I meant to include was this video on how did people communicate back in the olden days. It kind of spoke about the different communication ways they had with one another, such as the beats of the drum, waving flags, flashing lights, or even by smoke patterns. But now with science and technology developing, the different modern means of communication is changing and increasing, which is now faster and easier to use. Going into my next slide is my lesson plan, the link. Here it provides a 3-day detailed plan. Day 1, students are engaging and exploring the various ways of communication. Day 2, they're explaining and elaborating on telegraphs using patterns to transmit messages. And day 3, they're evaluating, extending their understanding and reflecting on their learning. So into my next slide with my GIF. What is hard about Morse code? I said the different coding of language, such as the dot and the dash representing a limited number of alphabetic letters, numbers, punctuations, special characters in a given message. But when messages are sent by sound, it signals the dot to represent a short beat. My next slide, let's do Morse code. So here the students are working in pairs with the STEM lab kit, where we are allowing students to engage with our RGB LED, sending messages like hi in Morse code, or send 2-word phrases for their partners to decode. So, which leads into my next slide, my Morse code table chart that I decided to include. I thought it was important for the students to point out the differences between the dot and the dash when seeing the code next to each letter. It will also prepare them for day 2 when they construct an explanation. Next in my slide, I have a mini Kahoot quiz. I have the link right up here. So in this quiz, it's pretty simple, just a quick overview of what they have done in this day 1. So my first question, what is the Morse code to letter B? I have the different options, and then I provided a picture of the chart that I created so they can see it, because this is something that you cannot memorize. As well, for question 2, I did the same thing. What is the Morse code for the letter S? I realize my spelling is a little off there, but again, with the options and another chart with the alphabet and the code. And then for my last question, I decided to flip it. So I have decode this letter and it's a dot, and then I provided AMQE, and then as well as the chart with the alphabet and the code so they could see it. And lastly, my mini reflection: identify, evaluate, and implement new digital resources or tools for learning. It said there are many different types of digital resources or tools for learning. It is first important to evaluate the tool by ensuring its meaning and how you will use within the classroom. You should look critically at all the information given about the resource or tool to determine the reliability, relevance, and its authenticity. For an example, I can use Google Forms to create quizzes, surveys, questionnaires for my students' learning, as well as using Flipgrid to create video discussion. I could provide questions, topics, or prompts for either homework or used within the classroom and facilitate the video responses and comments being made. Next, promote critical examination of online resources among your students. I said using online resources in a class can be beneficial for students. It can enhance student technical and communication skills by promoting active and independent learning. Students are able to interact with their peers through group discussions, deepening and depending on the online resource being used. Online resources allow students to contribute to the course discussion by commenting on works of others. Online resources also provide a wide range of learning styles. It allows students to go beyond to deepen their thinking and also allows students to self-direct themselves, working on their own pace. And here are my credits, the sites, and the links. Thank you.